Hey friends. Whew. Yeah, so just sharing for this week's vlog. I spent a lot of time this past week editing the the recap video that I just posted, and it was a really good process. I I took the over 2 hours of vlog content that I've made these past several months and edited into a one, not too long, 18-minute video recapping the entire thing. And I tried to maintain the overall arc and the story and sort of everything that's happened, and trying to maintain the whatever I'm really trying to share, the message of it all. It was a good process for me. It allowed me to sort of just reflect on this journey, and I'm doing this YouTube thing, making videos. And it also was really good practice to observe myself. And so, yeah, after doing that, I'm actually quite tired of listening to myself. The amount of so yeahs that I edited out was quite significant. So I want to use that to get better. I actually, this past week at Toastmasters, my role for the meeting is called the grammarian and awe counter. So one of the primary roles that I had for the week was listening to, as people were speaking, I had to count their filler words. I had to count their ums and ahs and so's and likes, and if they had any unique ones. And so I wasn't actually looking forward to doing that role, because I felt like I wouldn't be able to pay as much attention to their actual content that was being shared. I'd have to, nitpick at these little filler words. So I wasn't looking forward to it, but after I did it, it was actually really good, and I was really grateful. I was still able to listen to people's content and pay attention and feel what they're actually saying. I didn't feel like just listening for their filler words consumed all my attention. It was good practice for being able to listen for that. And so and what it did in me is it made me more aware of my own filler words. Even just I had to go up front and share with everybody their filler word count and their grammar, and I just paid attention for grammar as well. And so there it is again. It made me more aware of filler words, period. And I know that's just after 1 hour of paying a lot of attention to it, but then hours of editing and editing out so many filler words, especially so yeah, and as a transition. So that's a key practice that I'm gonna be playing with and learning and focusing on, is not doing the filler words, and instead resting in the silence, which is quite uncomfortable, doing that to the black box here. I already feel like I can speak pretty slowly, and I know that that's not good for YouTube, but a lot of people watch it 1.5 or 2x speed, so maybe watching it at 2x speed will, people can do that. Yeah, I'm going to practice less filler words, paying attention to that, and I'm actually having training for listening for that. through Toastmasters. And I'll continue to get feedback from them, and I can definitely get feedback from just watching myself. It's not really very comfortable, but it was really good practice and a really good process. So I plan to we'll see. I think I'm gonna make a recap video every 10 vlogs or so. And even just for myself, it's nice to be able to reflect back on what I've been through. So a big part of this video journaling is even just for myself. It's nice to be able to have the logs. So one thing that I've been thinking about lately, and that I noticed as I was finishing up the recap video yesterday, is I want to be more playful and creative with these video logs right here. There's an An example is after doing the edits for the recap video, I decided I wanted to play with a thumbnail, because I've been doing that with as helping out with Samuel's Dark Lake Forge channel. Been trying to learn a little bit about thumbnails, and the AI tools are pretty incredible at generating images without having to work really hard or put in a lot of effort or know how to use Photoshop tools or anything like that. And so more filler words. As I was making the thumbnail, I wanted to make a journey type of vibe that I resonated with. So it's kind of an unexplored map of maybe a fantasy realm, medieval fantasy realm, but also I love the exploration of space and the old ships that would sail the ocean and to go to new lands, unexplored lands or undiscovered lands. I've always loved that kind of just story or vibe or aesthetic or an archetype. And so I did that with the thumbnail, and it made me think I want to do more of that kind of playful journeying on this channel. I've been doing that. I feel like just the journey is tapping into that, but I'm gonna take it a little bit further. Another way I want to play with this channel and have fun with it is I want to get better at storytelling and use storytelling as a way to express and articulate vision and emotion, and storytelling is just a really powerful way to communicate. So I want to play with that more. And I also want to play with being more playful with the actual vlog, more dramatic, more engaging, and not to take away from any realness or authenticity of it, but just playful, like how kids play and make things up and exaggerate and play in their own fantasy lands. And so I'm gonna kind of bring that more into this channel. When I was basically from the time I was born, but even at a very young age, I wanted to be an astronaut. That was my dream. I loved space. I loved astronauts. I loved all things space aesthetics. I learned the planets as a very, very young kid. I just knew them and had them memorized and knew what they all looked like. And so I love space. And I've always loved space. But as I slowly grew up, the dream of being an astronaut slowly faded away, because I slowly realized that modern day astronauts are not necessarily space explorers. It's not quite the fantasy dream of exploring the vast unknown that really pulled at my soul. Yeah, because we live in a world that's, kind of discovered. There's no more explorers sailing the seas looking for new lands, and I just really like that romantic archetype. And so, yeah, but the theme of, sailing the seas of the unknown, or traversing the depths of space, it's the same symbolic theme of traversing the vast unknown in search of new things and new discoveries, and I just love it. And so I'm going to start playing with this channel a little bit more like that. It's almost like these vlogs are going to be like the ship log or the captain's log of a journey of exploration, and a journey of going into the unknown, and it's unknown where it's going to go, what's going to be discovered. So yeah, thank you for being here on this journey, and just traversing the vast unknown with me. And I always, as a child, I also always like, what do I want to do? I want to go on adventures with my friends. That's what I want to do. That's what, to me, sounds like a incredible life. And so I'm doing it. In order to even live that, it requires a bit of fantasy playfulness, childlike playfulness, to even tap into that. But I really do feel like my real life has slowly been feeling like that more and more and more. And so thank you for watching this captain's log. I will be signing off until next week.